A dear friend, if one morning you wake up with a heavy head like something is pressing down on you, or your vision feels blurry, your heart races, your legs look slightly swollen, and you're not sure why, please don't just tell yourself, maybe it's just age, because sometimes that's the first alarm bell, a quiet warning that your blood pressure is out of control. And if we don't catch it in time, it could lead to stroke or heart failure, even permanent vision loss. After 60, our bodies don't always speak clearly anymore. What used to be a strong signal is now just a whisper, a little swelling in the leg, a restless night, a sudden blush across your cheeks. That's all it takes. But if we notice those signs early, we can take action. We can stop complications before they begin. In this video, I'd like to walk with you through 7 early signs, the ones that seem small, but truly aren't. They're the signs that millions of older adults overlook every day. Have you felt any of them? If so, I'd be honored if you'd share in the comments. I read every message, and if you need someone to listen, I'll be here. Now, let's begin. Because sometimes understanding a small change can save everything that lies ahead. 1. Intense morning headaches. A morning headache might seem harmless, but sometimes it's the body's final warning before something much worse. Mr. David, 72 years old, lives in a quiet suburb of Ohio. He's always been healthy. Each morning he wakes early, enjoys a cup of coffee, reads the newspaper, and tends to his little backyard garden. But recently, something changed. Every morning when he wakes, he feels a sharp pounding pain at the back of his head, and at the crown like someone is hitting from the inside with a hammer. It lasts for an hour. He feels dizzy, drained, and has to lie back in bed instead of walking out to his garden like before. Probably just age, or poor sleep, he thought. So he ignored it. But one morning, he collapsed in the bathroom. His blood pressure was 210 over 115, dangerously high. The doctor said he was lucky. Had he waited another hour or two, it could have ended in a stroke. You see, severe morning headaches, especially around the neck and top of the head, can be a quiet but serious red flag in older adults. It's not just stress. It's not just poor sleep. It might be a sudden blood pressure spike, a surge that puts enormous pressure on the tiny blood vessels in your brain. And the scary part? Most people over 60, just like Mr. David, don't pay attention. They say it's normal, I'm getting old. But according to the American Heart Association, up to 40% of strokes in seniors happen after a morning headache that no one noticed. A study published in the Journal of Hypertension 21 found that older adults with intense morning headaches had a 3.2 times higher risk of stroke compared to those without that symptom. Why? Because during sleep, blood pressure rises and falls, and as we age, our ability to regulate it weakens. This leads to something called the morning surge, a sudden spike in blood pressure right when you wake up. That's when fragile vessels in the brain can burst or worsen damage that's already there. So, when should you see a doctor if you or someone you love over 60 often wakes up with a heavy head, neck pain, blurred vision, or dizziness and nausea? Don't wait. Please, get a full checkup. Blood pressure, heart function, the sooner the better. The good news? You can take control. This condition is manageable if caught early. Start with these 3 simple steps. 1. Check your blood pressure regularly at home, every morning before getting out of bed, and every night before sleep. Keep a log. Patterns matter more than one reading. 2. Cut down on salt and unhealthy fats. Instead, focus on green veggies, oily fish, and whole grains. These foods help your body regulate pressure naturally. 3. Move your body gently but daily. A short walk, some deep breathing. Just 15 to 20 minutes a day keeps your blood vessels flexible and your pressure more stable. Please remember, you're not alone. Many people your age have learned to manage their blood pressure just by changing a few small habits. And most important of all, listen to your body. A headache is not always harmless, but it can be a gift, a second chance to act before something worse happens. 2. Blurry vision, dizziness, floating black dots. A study published in the American Journal of Hypertension 20 found that nearly 35% of people over 60 have experienced dizziness, blurred vision, or dark spots floating in front of their eyes. without realizing that these may be early signs of retinal damage or temporary brain ischemia caused by high blood pressure. Even more concerning, about 1 in 5 people with these symptoms went on to suffer serious complications like stroke or permanent vision loss within just 6 months if left untreated. Researchers explained high blood pressure can silently damage tiny blood vessels in the eyes and brain. When that happens, your eyes may send out quiet warnings, blurry vision, floating black dots, or a sense of being off balance. These signs might feel small, but they are anything but harmless. Let me tell you a story. Mrs. Eleanor, 75 years old, a retired elementary school teacher living alone in Florida, independent, mindful, always took care of herself. One afternoon, while watering her plants, she suddenly noticed black specks floating across her vision like little flies. She felt slightly dizzy, had to sit down for a few minutes before she could stand again. It's just the heat, she thought, and didn't tell anyone. 3 weeks later, while reading a book, the words on the page began to blur. Everything looked hazy, like she was peering through fog. Her neighbor rushed her to the ER, her blood pressure 198/105. The doctors found severe retinal damage. They said if she had waited just a few more days, she might have lost her sight permanently. You see, after 60, our blood vessels become more fragile. They lose elasticity, and when blood pressure surges, it puts tremendous stress on the smallest vessels, especially those behind the eyes and deep in the brain. That's when the body speaks up, not with pain, but with blurry vision, floating shadows, or a sudden wave of dizziness. And these are not just passing symptoms. They can be the first door opening to something far more serious, a stroke, a brain bleed, or even total blindness. So, if you've ever felt like you're walking and suddenly feel lightheaded, like dark shadows or floaters drift across your eyes, like words on a page or TV screen slowly fade or blur, please, don't ignore it. Get your blood pressure checked, have your eyes examined. Ask your doctor about your brain's circulation. Don't wait until you collapse to look for help. Dear friend, growing older doesn't mean living with danger. By simply paying attention to these quiet signals, like a floating black dot, you can prevent something far more serious. See it as a gentle reminder from your body, a chance to love yourself a little more each day, and to take better care of the one life you have. 3. Rapid heartbeat, palpitations, tightness in the chest. Have you ever felt your heart racing, even when you're just sitting still? It might not be stress. It could be your heart trying to tell you something important. When your blood pressure is too high, your heart has to work much harder to push blood through the narrowed, tense vessels. This extra effort can cause your heart to beat fast, pound harder, or feel like it's fluttering in your chest. Under normal conditions, the heart beats smoothly, steady, and gentle. But with high blood pressure, the heart strains. You might feel it thumping, sometimes loudly, even when you're resting. And over time, this constant stress can lead to irregular heartbeat or even heart failure, especially in people over 60. What's frightening is many people don't even realize they're in early-stage heart failure until their heart finally sounds the alarm. Dr. Stephen Nissen from Cleveland Clinic once shared during a cardiology conference, many older patients come in with just mild chest tightness, but testing reveals an enlarged heart and dangerous rhythm problems already underway. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, 21, also found 27% of heart failure cases linked to high blood pressure first showed up as abnormal heart rhythm in people over 65. Older adults who experienced palpitations but didn't get treated were 2.4 times more likely to be hospitalized for serious heart issues within a year. Let me share a story. Mr. William, 68 years old, lives with his wife in Texas. He often brushed off his symptoms. Sometimes after a salty meal or a short walk, he felt his heart fluttering. Even when watching TV, he sensed a pounding in his chest but thought, maybe it's just age or too much coffee. But then one day he felt tightness in his chest, collapsed in the bathroom, and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors found that long-term high blood pressure had weakened the left side of his heart, causing it to lose its regular rhythm. You see, as we age, the cardiovascular system begins to tire, the blood vessels stiffen, heart valves may not close perfectly, and pressure regulation slows down. So, when blood pressure rises, the heart has to push harder to pump blood through the body. It's like forcing an old water pump to run at full speed every day. If left unchecked, the heart can slowly wear out, leading to rhythm disorders, heart failure, or even sudden cardiac arrest. You should see a doctor if you feel a racing heart even while sitting, fluttering or pounding in your chest during rest, chest tightness especially while walking or climbing stairs, shortness of breath while lying down. Simple tests like an ECG, a heart ultrasound, or a blood pressure check can catch the problem early. The good news: you can support your heart with just a few daily habits. Reduce salt in your meals. Aim for less than 1,500 milligrams per day as recommended by the American Heart Association. Deep breathing and daily relaxation. Just 10-15 minutes can calm the heart and gently lower your pulse. Sleep well. Getting 7 to 8 hours a night helps balance your stress hormones and slows a racing heart. You don't have to live in fear. With just a little more awareness, a little more attention, your heart can stay with you strong and steady for many peaceful years to come. Don't wait for your heart to speak up through pounding beats or shortness of breath. Listen now. Start today. 4. Unexplained nosebleeds. A sudden nosebleed, especially when you're at rest without any bump or injury, is easy to blame on dry weather or fragile nasal membranes. But for people over 60, it could be something more. A quiet warning that your blood pressure may be surging out of control. You see, the blood vessels in our nose are delicate, thin, and easy to break. As we age, our blood vessels lose elasticity, so when blood pressure spikes even for just a few minutes, that pressure can burst the tiny capillaries inside the nose. It's not a common symptom, but when it happens without cause, it's one of the clearest early signs your body can send, asking you to check your blood pressure right away. Still, many people shrug it off. They think it's the dry air. Or, my nose has always been sensitive. They skip the checkup. And sometimes, they don't realize the danger until a stroke or heart event arrives without warning. Let me tell you about Mr. Henry. He's 70, lives in California, loves to garden, and takes good care of himself. One morning while trimming his plants, he noticed blood dripping from his nose. No pain, no dizziness, no reason. His wife thought it was just dry air. But when it happened again just 3 days later, she insisted they go to the doctor. His blood pressure, 196/100. The doctor said if they hadn't caught it in time, Mr. Henry could have been at high risk for a brain hemorrhage due to uncontrolled hypertension. Henry was shocked. He felt fine. No fatigue, no headaches, just a little blood from the nose. According to Mayo Clinic, high blood pressure may cause nosebleeds in 17 to 20% of older adults, especially during a hypertensive episode, when blood pressure spikes above 180/120, often without any other symptoms. A study from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that seniors over 65 with nosebleeds unrelated to injury are 2.8 times more likely to have undiagnosed hypertension, and among them 1 in 3 had blood pressure in the danger zone high enough to require immediate medical care. You should see a doctor if you've had more than one nosebleed within just a few days. The bleeding is light but doesn't stop after 10 minutes. Or it comes with other symptoms: fatigue, flushing light, headache, or a racing heart. Especially if you've never had a nose injury, sinus problems, or severe allergies. In those cases, a nosebleed isn't just on the surface. It might be your heart struggling with hidden pressure. Your body always knows how to send a signal when something's wrong. One drop of blood from the nose may seem small, but sometimes it's a loud message about a silent surge in blood pressure. Let's not wait until complications arrive to take action. Be the one who listens early, not the one who's caught off guard, because every minute of early detection can add years of healthy, peaceful living. 5. Sudden facial flushing, heat rising through the body. Many older adults have felt it, a sudden rush of heat to the face, like their skin is on fire. Sometimes it spreads to the ears or down the neck. The heart beats faster. A light headache follows, maybe a touch of dizziness. Most people brush it off. It's just hormones, they say, or maybe it's good circulation, or simply part of aging. But in reality, this can be a sign that your blood pressure is suddenly rising, and your body is struggling to bring it down. When blood pressure spikes, your body reacts quickly. It opens up the small blood vessels near the surface, especially around the face, neck, and scalp, to try and release the pressure. That's why your face turns red, why you feel that hot burning sensation, why your heart starts racing, your head begins to throb, or you feel a little off balance. In younger people, this could just be emotions or warm weather. But in someone over 60, this kind of flushing might be the first warning sign of a hypertensive episode. And if you miss it, a stroke or brain vessel damage could follow just hours later. Here's the problem. This symptom is easy to ignore. Many older folks think it's just heat. I had something spicy, or it'll go away on its own. Some drink lemon water, some lie down, few check their blood pressure, and that delay can cost them. Let me share a story. Mrs. Linda, 74 years old, lives in Arizona. She had flushed cheeks a few times that month. She thought it was just late menopause, rubbed on some ointment, lay down, and carried on. One afternoon, while cooking, she felt a wave of heat across her face and ears. Her heart raced, her vision blurred. Before she could call for help, she collapsed. Thankfully, her husband was home and called 911 in time. Doctors found that her blood pressure had surged 205 over 108. She had a temporary drop in brain blood flow caused by an acute hypertensive episode. According to the American Heart Association, sudden facial flushing, what they call flushing, is directly linked to blood pressure fluctuations in older adults. A study in the Hypertension Research Journal 22 found 22% of adults over 65 who experienced facial flushing with a racing heart were actually having a blood pressure spike, and more than one-third already had undetected blood vessel damage or early signs of irregular heart rhythms. So, when should you be concerned if you or someone you love feels sudden redness and heat in the face even while at rest, along with dizziness, pounding heart, or headache? And if this happens more than once a week, please check your blood pressure as soon as the symptoms appear. And don't wait, get a full cardiovascular checkup. Your doctor may suggest 24-hour monitoring or tests to check your heart's rhythm and function. A hot flash isn't always about hormones. Sometimes, it's high blood pressure knocking on the door and hoping you'll listen. The sooner you notice, the more power you have to protect yourself. Let every heartbeat be a gentle rhythm of peace, not a warning bell in disguise. 6. Sleepless nights, long-lasting fatigue. I go to bed early, but wake up feeling like I never rested at all. It's something I hear from many older adults. And very often it's your body's quiet way of saying your blood pressure is not okay. After age 60, good sleep becomes more than just rest. It's essential for heart recovery, brain health, and blood pressure regulation. But when blood pressure stays too high, your nervous system becomes overstimulated. The body can't relax. You wake up in the middle of the night, you toss and turn, you don't fall into deep sleep. And in the morning you feel drained, foggy, maybe dizzy, and it's like your body is working against you all day long. Did you know a study from the Journal of Hypertension 21 found nearly 70% of seniors with chronic high blood pressure reported poor sleep quality? Over half of them also felt ongoing fatigue, trouble focusing, and daytime drowsiness. Even more concerning, those who had trouble sleeping were 2.3 times more likely to suffer a stroke and had a 35% higher risk of heart failure compared to those who slept deeply and well. Why does this happen? Because when your blood pressure rises, your sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that controls fight or flight, stays active all night. Your heart beats faster, blood vessels stay tense, and your brain never fully winds down for deep healing rest. Let me tell you about Mrs. Donna. She's 69, lives alone in Minnesota. For months, she couldn't sleep more than 2 or 3 hours a night. She woke up feeling tired, irritable, and foggy through the morning. She thought it was just menopause or her age, or maybe just bad habits. She bought herbal tea, tried to relax, but nothing changed. Then one day, while standing up from a chair, she felt dizzy and nearly passed out. Her son took her to the doctor, and the truth came out. Her blood pressure was regularly at 175 over 95, a dangerous level. The doctor explained her insomnia was a clear warning that her body was out of rhythm, because her blood pressure had been high for far too long. If you've been feeling restless even when going to bed on time, waking up often having vivid dreams or nightmares, tired in the morning, groggy and slow, sleepy during the day, easily irritated, please don't assume it's just old age. Start by checking your blood pressure. Try taking it in the early morning and again before bed for several days in a row. If your readings are over 135/85, talk to your doctor. Get a full checkup. And here's the good news. You can improve sleep and lower blood pressure without sleeping pills. Try gentle exercise in the afternoon, like a 20-minute walk or stretching yoga. It helps the blood vessels relax and soothes the nervous system. Eat dinner early and light. Avoid salty, spicy, or heavy meals. No caffeine at night. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Read a book. Listen to soft music. Let your body make melatonin naturally. You can also take your blood pressure each morning right after waking up. It builds awareness and gives you control over your health. One sleepless night might be nothing, but ongoing insomnia and fatigue, especially after 60, could be your blood pressure ringing the alarm. You don't have to live in exhaustion. Let your body truly rest. Because deep sleep doesn't just calm the mind, it keeps your heart steady and your whole day in balance. 7. Swelling in the feet, hands, or face, especially in the morning. Many people think morning swelling in the feet, hands, or face comes from eating salty food, walking too much, or sleeping in a strange position. But the truth could be far more serious. It might be a sign that your heart and kidneys are quietly struggling after years of damage from high blood pressure. A study in the Hypertension Journal 22 found nearly 1 in 4 adults over 60 who had mild swelling in the morning had undiagnosed heart or kidney damage. About 40% of those with persistent swelling had uncontrolled high blood pressure for at least 2 years. And most concerning, this kind of swelling more than doubled the risk of hospitalization for heart or kidney failure within just 1 to 3 years. Here's what happens. When your blood pressure is too high, the heart has to pump harder to push blood through your body. Over time, the heart wears down. It becomes less efficient. Blood and fluid begin to back up, especially in the lower legs, the hands, and the soft areas around the face. At the same time, the kidneys, which filter excess fluid, become weaker too. They struggle to remove that buildup. And you wake up swollen. Mrs. Helen, 71 years old, lives in New York. Each morning she noticed puffiness around her eyes, heaviness in her legs, and a slight swelling in her ankles. She thought it was normal. After all, she had high blood pressure in the past, but didn't track it regularly. Over the months, her fatigue worsened. She became short of breath while lying down. Even standing up made her feel dizzy. Her daughter took her to the doctor. Tests revealed early-stage heart failure and reduced kidney function, both tied directly to long-term untreated high blood pressure. Swelling in the face, hands, or feet, especially in the morning, isn't something to ignore in older adults. The heart and kidneys naturally slow down with age, and when blood pressure stays high, the body can't move or drain fluid the way it should. That leads to retention and swelling. The danger, many people blame it on salty food being on their feet or sitting too long, and they delay seeking help. You should see a doctor if you notice morning puffiness in your eyelids, hands, or ankles, heavy or tight legs with a dent when you press your skin, swelling that lasts several days even after resting. Your doctor may order tests to check your heart, like ECG, or ultrasound your kidneys, creatinine, eGFR, and monitor your blood pressure over time to find the cause. A little swelling in the morning, if it keeps coming back, isn't something small. Your body always finds a way to send signals. The question is, are you listening? Give your heart and kidneys a chance to recover by identifying and controlling high blood pressure early. Because every time you check your pressure, choose a healthier meal, or take better care of your sleep, you're walking one more step toward peaceful, complication-free health. And now, if any of these 7 signs made you think of yourself or someone you love, please don't hesitate to share in the comments below. Whether it's a symptom you've experienced, a question you're unsure about, or a story you'd like to tell, I will read every message and respond with care and respect. If this video was helpful to you, please consider subscribing. That way, next time we share something important about aging and health, you'll be right here with us again. I believe that sometimes just paying a little more attention, just listening to our body a little more, can take us halfway to better health. Thank you for spending this time with me. I wish you peace, strength, and gentle days ahead.